The 1 Piso coin of 1997 is part of the BSP Coin Series introduced by the Banco Central ng Pilipinas, BSP in 1995. This series was launched to modernize Philippine coinage and reflect national identity with updated security and designs. The year 1997 marks the third year of production under this new series. Jose Acute Rizal's image was chosen to symbolize national pride, wisdom, and reform. Rizal was a brilliant writer, doctor, and revolutionary who advocated peaceful reform under Spanish rule. He was executed in 1896 and became a symbol of Philippine independence. The 1997 1 Piso coin was widely circulated throughout the Philippines. It was used in daily transactions for small purchases such as fare, snacks, and local goods. It became one of the most commonly used coins during the late 1990s and early 2000s. 1997. The Philippines was affected by the Asian financial crisis, which caused currency devaluation and inflation. As a result, the demand for coins increased due to rising prices. BSP maintained production to ensure coin availability during economic instability. While exact mintage figures are limited, the 1997 1 Piso coin was produced in large quantities for general circulation. It is considered common, but coins in mint condition are sought after by collectors. Circulated condition, very common. Low-value Philippine peso 1 Philippine peso 5. Uncirculated mint condition, may fetch Philippine peso 50 Philippine peso 200 from collectors. Error coins, some 1997. Coins with minting errors off-center strikes. Missing elements may be worth Philippine peso 500 plus or more. The 19971 Piso coin remained in circulation until it was gradually replaced by the new generation Currency Coin Series in 2018, which introduced a new look and different metal compositions. Despite being demonetized in 2022, many Filipinos still remember using this coin in everyday life. The 1997 Philippine 1 Piso coin is a part of the BSP Coin Series and features national hero Jose Rizal. It played a vital role during a crucial economic period in Philippine history and remains a significant piece for collectors and historians alike. While common, it holds sentimental and collectible value, especially in high grades or with minting errors. The 1997 1 Piso coin was distributed throughout Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, making it a true national currency. Its reliability helped rural communities that often face shortages of smaller denominations. In many small towns and barangays, this coin was used in local trade, wet markets, and school canteens. It was favored by tricycle and jeepney drivers who relied on exact change. Vendors often collected large quantities of 1 Piso coins in alcancía piggy banks. 1997, the Piso had greater purchasing power than today. With just Philippine peso 1, you could. The coin thus served as the lifeblood of microtransactions, particularly among low-income Filipinos. Coins like the 1997 1 Piso were often used in lay offerings in churches, donation boxes in chapels, and public religious displays. Pamapahan fundraisers at masses and fiestas. Rizal's image, while secular, was respected universally even by the deeply religious due to his patriotism and moral integrity. This coin avoided the cluttered designs of older series and emphasized a modern, forward-looking identity. In the late 1990s, the Philippines was working to solidify democratic institutions after the People Power Revolution. 1986. Coins were part of this narrative. By putting heroes like Rizal on everyday currency, the government reminded citizens of sacrifice, nationalism, and vigilance. It reinforced a message of continuity from past to present. The 1997 1 Piso was often the first coin Filipino children learned to recognize and count, used in school math lessons. Counting, addition, subtraction, given as rewards or allowance for daily snacks, saved in coin banks to teach basic budgeting and saving. Many children of the late 1990s still remember this coin fondly today, though most 1997 1 Piso coins are common. A few error coins have surfaced, misaligned dies causing off-center strikes, double dies that create shadows of letters or designs, clipped blankets, incomplete blanks. Collectors today seek these coins, and even a regular 1997 coin in brilliant uncirculated blue condition can command value due to nostalgia. During national celebrations, time capsules buried in public parks or schools sometimes included coins like the 1997 Piso. These were meant to symbolize that era's currency and design. capture a snapshot of Filipino economic life, provide historical markers for future generations. In the late 90s and early 2000s, educational campaigns were launched to teach people how to spot a transitional period between traditional and digital finance. By the late 2010s, the rise of Gcash, Paymaya, and contactless banking slowly reduced the use of coins like the 1997 Piso. However, the coin represents the last era of physical cash dominance before digital disruption. The 1997 1 Piso coin is a humble but powerful object. It weaves together threads of national identity, historical transition, economic resilience, education, and everyday life. More than metal, it's a memory, a symbol, and a statement. The 25 Sentimo featured the Philippine butterfly, an emblem of transformation, freedom, and the country's tropical environment. Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Manila. Portrait of Juan Luna. The obverse of the coin honored environmental richness and fragility. The 1980-5 Sentimo is a reflection of a broader national agenda to celebrate Filipino identity, its heroes, wildlife, and language, especially during a time when the country was under international scrutiny for human rights issues and economic troubles. The coin served both as a monetary unit and as a cultural tool. The 25 Sentimo was a low denomination coin used for everyday transactions, such as buying candies, jeepney fares, or sari-sari store items. However, inflation during the late 1970s and early 1980s South started eroding its purchasing power, limiting its practical value over time. The Philippines faced increasing inflation, rising foreign debt, and economic stagnation by 1980. While the country saw infrastructure development, it also experienced a widening wealth gap. Coins like the 25 Sentimo were increasingly being hoarded, melted, or neglected due to their declining value in real terms. The late 1980s, the Flora and Fauna series was phased out in favor of the improved Flora and Fauna series and later the new BSP series in the 1990s. The 1980-5 Sentimo remained in circulation for a few more years but was eventually demonetized as the BSP modernized its coinage system. The 1980 25 Sentimo coin holds numismatic interest, though not extremely rare. It is sought by collectors of Flora and Fauna series coins, historical coins from the martial law period, Juan Luna memorabilia, in uncirculated or mint condition. Its value can range from Philippine peso 20 to Philippine peso 100 PHP, or more for perfectly preserved specimens, especially with original artists in Madrid, and became a symbol of Filipinos suffering under colonization. Featuring Luna during Marcos' regime subtly connected the government's propaganda to revolutionary ideals, even while it was suppressing dissent in the name of order, the graphium ideoids, ecological awareness. And this coin was part of that movement. It reminded Filipinos of their biodiversity ecosystems, many of which were already threatened by logging, mining, and urbanization. 1980. A 25 Sentimo coin could still buy small goods like street food, taho, candies, pay for part of a jeepney fare, or be used in public payphones. It was a common coin, jingling in the pockets of students, vendors, and workers. However, by the mid-1980s, its purchasing power had dropped sharply due to inflation. Many people began to ignore or discard coins of such low value. The 25 Sentimo coin was made from copper nickel, a durable and corrosion-resistant alloy. But due to rising metal costs, there was a push to reduce the metallic content or even eliminate low-value coins entirely. By the late 1980s, this coin's composition and mintage techniques were considered modern for its time, struck with high precision by the BSP's minting facility. During the martial law years, the coin became part of the Philippines was under the rule of President Ferdinand E. Marcos. During a time of political instability and economic turmoil, the Flora and Fauna coin series was partly seen as a move to promote nationalism and cultural pride. Amidst this unrest, these coins became tools for cultural education, as many Filipinos began to take pride in the country's rich biodiversity. The obverse side of the 1984 to Piso coin features the right-facing profile of Andres Bonifacio, the revered Filipino revolutionary leader and founder of the Katipunan movement that led the fight for independence from Spanish rule. Bonifacio is portrayed wearing a traditional camisa de chino and a red neckerchief symbolizing his grassroots leadership. Around the portrait is the inscription, Republica ng Pilipinas, Andres Bonifacio. This design honored the bravery and nationalism of Bonifacio. connecting Filipino pride to both revolutionary history and modern identity. The reverse features the Philippine eagle Pithecofaga jefferi, one of the world's largest and most powerful eagles, and an endangered species endemic to the Philippines. The eagle symbolizes strength, independence, and the rich, natural heritage of the nation. The denomination too, Piso and the year 1984 are also inscribed. The image served as an environmental reminder to protect Philippine condition coins with clear details of Bonifacio's portrait and the eagle are more valuable. The Flora and Fauna series, including the 1984 to Piso symbols. This series inspired later coinage programs to include cultural and ecological elements such as the new generation Currency Coin Series launched by BSP in the 2010s. The Piso coin was eventually replaced in 1995 by newer designs and later demonetized in 2001 as the BSP transitioned. Before coins like the Piso were introduced, lower denominations such as Philippine Peso 1 and Philippine Peso 2 were often issued as paper money. The decision to transition the Philippine Peso 2 denomination to coin form stemmed from the longer lifespan of coins. Paper bills would wear out in a few months, while coins could circulate for decades. Thus, minting the Piso coin in 1984 was a practical economic decision. Bonifacio's appearance on the Piso coin marked a shift from traditional portrayals of elite figures to a working-class revolutionary. Unlike Jose Rizal, who was an intellectual and reformist, Bonifacio was a symbol of armed resistance and a man of the people. His inclusion resonated with nationalist ideals during the politically charged 1980s. The Marcos regime promoted cultural nationalism, often using heroic imagery to bolster legitimacy. Coins like the Piso became tools of state propaganda, reinforcing ideals of unity, resistance, and Philippine. The 2014 Philippine 25 Sentimo coin is part of the new generation Currency NGC Coin Series, which was officially released into circulation by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP in December 2014. This coin marks a major shift in the country's monetary design and philosophy, emphasizing national identity, heritage, and security. 2014. The Philippines had not updated its coin designs for several years. Older coins, including those from the BSP Coin Series, 1983 to 2017, were beginning to show signs of wear and were prone to counterfeiting. The BSP aimed to introduce a new series that would feature enhanced security features, national symbols, indigenous flora, durable materials. The 2014 25 Sentimo coin was released as part of the first wave of the NGC Coin Series. The new coins had simpler and more modern design. The year marked 2014, a clean and minimalistic layout. Juan Luna 1857 to 1899 was a Filipino painter and revolutionary. His masterpiece Spoliarium became a symbol of resistance and pride, and he was deeply involved in the Philippine struggle for independence. The reverse side of the coin shows an image of the Catmandillania philippinensis flower, a native plant of the Philippines. The denomination 25 Sentimo, the official logo of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. The catman tree produces large, attractive flowers and is a symbol of biodiversity and native pride in the archipelago. The change from brass to nickel-plated steel reflects BSP's goal to reduce production costs while maintaining coin integrity, while worth only 0.25 php. The 25 Sentimo coin is essential for exact transactions, especially in public transport, market exchanges, vending machines. Despite its low value, it remains in daily use, particularly among coin-operated services. Each coin in the NGC series is symbolic. For the 25 Sentimo, Juan Luna represents nationalism and the power of art in revolution. Catman flower reflects the country's natural wealth. Minimalist design aligns with international standards for clarity and security. Upon release, some users criticized the similar appearance of lower denomination coins 1, 5, 10, and 25 Sentimo. Difficulty in distinguishing coins due to uniform color and size. However, collectors and nationalists appreciated the modern feel and patriotic elements traded among numismatists interested in the full NGC series. The NGC series continued with future updates and remains the current circulating coinage in the Philippines. The 2014 25 Sentimo coin stands as a milestone of modernization and cultural celebration in Philippine currency history. The 2014 Philippine 25 Sentimo coin is far more than just loose change. It represents a conscious shift by the Philippines to honor its heroes, preserve its environment, and protect its economy with modern design and security. Through Juan Luna and the Catman flower, the coin embodies both the nation's storied past and its hope for a resilient future. The 25 Sentimo denomination has existed in various forms since the early 1900s during American colonial rule. However, its modern journey began in the 1970s, as during the Filipino and Angie Bagong, Lipunan of Coinage eras, and continued through Filipino Series 1967-1974, featuring Filipino heroes like Juan Luna in brass or bronze alloys. Able Series 1975-1983, reinforcing Marcos regime with updated inscriptions. BSP Series 1995-17, showcasing the BSP seal. These were mass-produced and widely circulated. The 2014 version reintroduces Juan Luna, who also appeared on older coinage, bridging historical continuity with modern aesthetics. Juan Luna is not only famous for his paintings but also for his active role in the propaganda movement. Alongside Jose Rizal and Marcelo H. del Pilar, he was a passionate advocate for reform under Spanish colonial rule and used his art to express nationalist sentiments. By placing him on the 25 Sentimo coin, the BSP highlighted the role of intellectuals and artists in shaping Philippine identity, an uncommon but powerful choice for such a low denomination. The Catman flower de Linea Philippinensis is native to the Philippines and rarely highlighted in public symbols. Its inclusion on the coin promotes ecological awareness, supports efforts to highlight indigenous plant species, emphasizes the beauty of local biodiversity. Catman is also a medicinal plant, traditionally used to treat coughs and stomach problems, tying the coin to the country's indigenous knowledge and healing practices. The 25 Sentimo coin, while small in monetary value, plays a critical role in low-value transactions, especially in public jeepney fares, traditional wet markets, palanquis, rural areas, where change is often scarce. Its consistent circulation keeps the microeconomy functioning, especially among low-income Filipinos. The 2014 coins were minted by the Banco Central ng Pilipinas Security Plant Complex, located in Quezon City. BSP emphasized high-quality minting processes, uniform weights and sizes to meet modern vending and sorting machine standards. The use of nickel-plated steel, which is both durable and corrosion-resistant. The minimalist aesthetic of the 25 Sentimo coin follows a global design trend: cleaner lines and fewer elements, easy-to-read text for all ages, avoiding clutter that could lead to counterfeiting. This approach mirrors international coin designs in countries like Canada, Australia, and European nations. 2014, inflation had significantly reduced the real purchasing power of coins, like the 25 Sentimo. Still, BSP kept them in circulation to maintain correct change availability, preserve economic accuracy in pricing, avoid rounding errors in small transactions. However, some businesses started refusing 25 Sentimo coins, creating debates around legal tender laws and coin acceptance. The BSP and DEEP used the 2014 coin series in financial literacy campaigns, school programs to teach students about Filipino heroes, plants. The 1970 10 Sentimo coin from the Philippines is a notable piece in the country's numismatic history, as it marks a transitional era of design, material use, and economic reform. Let's explore its detailed story. 1970. The Philippines was under the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos. The country was experiencing both economic development and social unrest. This period saw modernization efforts that extended into currency reform. The Philippine peso was decimalized in 1967, and coins were redesigned to reflect national identity and heritage. The 1970 10 Sentimo coin belongs to the early batch of the Flora and Fauna series, also called the Filipino series. This series replaced English-language coinage with Filipino inscriptions to promote nationalism. Portrait: Apolinario Mabini, a Filipino revolutionary hero and political philosopher, is featured on the obverse. Text: Republica ng Pilipinas surrounds his portrait, with the year 1970 below. The coin was engraved by Filipino artists under the supervision of the Banco Central ng Pilipinas. BSP Mabini, known as the Sublime Paralytic, was a symbol of intellect, resistance, and integrity. His image on the coin honored his role in the First Philippine Republic. Main feature: the reverse displays the denomination 10 Sentimo. Prominently in the center, the coat of arms of the Philippines is located above the denomination. Language: All text was written in Filipino, reflecting the national language policy post-independence. Brass alloy gave the coin a distinct golden hue, making it both attractive and durable for circulation. The coin was mass-produced in 1970 and widely circulated across the country. It was intended for everyday transactions like buying candies, jeepney fares, or small snacks in sari-sari stores. While common in the 1970s, finding a 10 Sentimo 1970 coin in uncirculated or mint condition today is increasingly rare. Its collector value depends on the following: circulated condition, worth about Philippine peso 5, Philippine peso 15, uncirculated condition, Philippine peso 52, Philippine peso 100. Depending on shine and strike proof, or error, coins may fetch higher prices, Philippine peso 200 plus, especially if they exhibit off-center strikes or doubling. It was one of the smallest coins in circulation during the 1970s. Many Filipinos of the time recall using the 10 Sentimo to pay bus conductors or buy bubble gum. It was eventually withdrawn from circulation and demonetized when newer coin series were introduced in the 1990s. Thus, coins like the 1970 10 Sentimo hold cultural and nostalgic value, especially for older generations who grew up during the Marcos era. It's often collected by enthusiasts who aim to complete sets from the Filipino series. Look for bright luster and sharp details on Mabini's face. Avoid coins with corrosion or heavy scratches. Store in coin holders or albums to preserve condition. The late 1960s and early 1970s were politically intense years for the Philippines. The country was undergoing reforms, protests, and growing social awareness. President Ferdinand Marcos was in his second term in 1970, and the first quarter storm, student-led protests, demanding reforms highlighted the public as frustrations with the government. Amid this, the Philippine government pushed nationalistic symbols, including the redesign of its currency. The new coins were meant to instill pride in Filipino heritage and heroes, including figures like Mabini, Jose Rizal, and Andres Bonifacio. Prior to the 1970 coin, Philippine coins used English-language inscriptions, a remnant of American colonial rule. However, in the 1960s, the Filipino series was introduced to promote Filipino language and culture through everyday objects, especially coins. The 1970 10 Sentimo coin continued this movement, replacing Republic of the Philippines with Republica ng Pilipinas and focusing on national icons. These coins became a part of everyday life and helped normalize the Filipino language in formal government use. Apolinario Mabini, featured on the obverse, is more than just a revolutionary figure. He symbolizes intellect, resistance, and moral integrity. Despite being paralyzed from the waist down, Mabini became one of the most powerful minds of the Philippine Revolution. Placing Mabini on the 10 Sentimo coin sent a strong message. Intellect and integrity are the currency of national progress, even at the most accessible denomination. 1970 coins share similarities with those minted in surrounding years. Each annual release had slight differences in. During the 1970s, coin production faced challenges due to global metal price fluctuations. Nickel and brass were used to ensure affordability and durability. At the time, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas (BSP) outsourced some of its minting to foreign mints or relied on imported equipment. This period saw inconsistent minting quality, making pristine examples of the 1970 10 Sentimo coin more valuable today. That value seems tiny, but back then, every Sentimo counted. The coin represents a time when the Philippine economy was more reliant on coin-based transactions. The late 1990s, the BSP introduced new coin designs with improved security features and changed sizes to avoid confusion. The 1970 10 Sentimo coin was demonetized along with others in the Filipino series, as it no longer met modern currency standards. Coins that weren't returned to the BSP were either discarded or saved by collectors and Sentimientalists. The coin's modest denomination makes it accessible to beginner collectors, while pristine pieces hold strong value for advanced numismatists. It represents a simpler time when Filipino heroes were honored in everyday life on things as simple as a 10-cent coin. Classrooms. These coins are now shown to younger generations as part of history lessons. They're also used in exhibits, documentaries. Thank you for watching.